Ralph Norman just goes off on Congresswoman Ross, who isn't just quoting bad statistics, she's forgetting where the data comes from to begin with. This is wild. Anyhow, let's dive in.
So when you hear these familiar slogans, like "Make America Safe Again," I urge you to look not at what my colleagues on the other side say, but what they actually do. Cutting police resources and defunding federal agencies are not the policies of a party committed to public safety. And the consequence in this country is that we are less prepared and we are less safe. We deserve better. Our police officers and prosecutors deserve better. Our communities deserve better. And most of all, victims of crime and their families deserve better. I have a unanimous consent request. I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record an article written by Simone Jasper entitled Two North Carolina Cities Rank Among the Safest in the Country. Here's why. It notes that Charlotte is the 9th safest city in the country, and Raleigh is the 10th safest city in the country. And while I'm honored to have the Judiciary Committee here, I think that North Carolina, while we can always do better, has done better than many of the cities that we have failed to visit. Thank you, and I yield back.
Last but not least, we have the gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Norman.
You know, I've sat here for, what, 2.5 hours and heard members that serve in Congress quote statistics. Quote statistics. Crime statistics down in Charlotte. How does that help the victims that are up here? What if, Ms. King, if your daughter or your granddaughter or Congresswoman Ross and Adams used your time to quote how crime is down? What about calling your mayor out, Mayor Lyles, who failed to report the stabbing? Bring that picture up here. Who failed to report the stabbing. It happened in August 22nd. Where's your voice for that? Where's your voice for those, for the children who were, as my colleague mentioned, were led across the border to the tune of 20 million people by your president who opened the door? We finally had a president that stopped it. And you criticize Trump and quote statistics? Are you kidding me? It's a disconnect. What about the 14,000 murders last year? What about that statistic? What about the, Mr. Federico, what'd you say, 39 violations, 25 felonies? He's out. He's out. This is an insult. You could fill this entire room with victims all across Charlotte, and I'm from South Carolina, but you could take just a county and fill everybody here. And y'all using your voice as members of Congress? No, it's more than about money. What about cutting the pay of those judges who cut these criminals loose? What about them? Yeah, y'all put the handcuffs on the police, and you put the handcuffs on the police instead of on the victims. It blows my mind as I sit here and hear this. Let me give you a visual. Ms. Federico, I see your daughter. What about this?
Mr. Chairman.
What about this? This is
the
moment before she. Hey, Mr. Chairman, it's my time. It's not her time.
It's the gentleman's time.
It
is the gentleman's time, and it is his right as a member of Congress to testify.
I'm serious. What about, where was her? Well, how about that statistic? Did it help her? Tell me, did it help her? No, it did not. It's a miscarriage of justice. And for members to sit up here and use their time, it's amazing that in America, what happens here, what happens to this young lady, what happened to your daughter and your granddaughter, that's like Mary. That's what happens in third world countries. What happened to Charlie Kirk? That's what happens in third world countries. And you got members of your party who are, many of which identified with the assassin. All I'm saying is this is not time for politics. This is not time for any race. It's not time of any party. It's about time of justice. And like Mr. Federico said, until we stop putting people in prison, no amount of money, no amount of heartbreak and try to decide, is it mental illness, is it whatever it is, I don't care what it was. They murdered right here. It's sick.
You know what's really wild? When an entire political argument boils down to, oh, actually, our city's really safe, right? Tell that to the family of Logan Federico, a young woman studying to be a teacher who lost her life in Columbia, South Carolina, murdered by a man with 39 prior offenses. 39. That's not bad luck. That's a systemic failure, the kind that happens when no one's tracking repeat offenders across counties or states. Maybe, and here's a radical idea, we need a national database so prosecutors can see who they're letting back on the streets before they accidentally kill someone. But instead of taking accountability, Democrats like Congresswoman Ross brag about safety stats. Oh, Raleigh's fine. Charlotte's fine. Yeah, fine for who? The rich white liberals who fund their campaigns. The ones who live north of I-20, behind gates, sipping organic wine while pretending crime is a conspiracy theory? Meanwhile, the people living south of I-20, the ones dealing with real danger, get brushed off as part of a narrative. That's not leadership. That's moral negligence disguised as optimism. And then the cherry on top, they say crime's down. Sure it is. When Democrat-run cities stop reporting crime to the FBI, the numbers magically look great. Hide the data. Hide the truth. Problem solved. If only real lives worked like that. I'll say this. I'm not angry because I hate Democrats. I'm upset because we actually miss when they cared about truth, justice, and people like Logan. But now, they care more about PR than people. And at this rate, they're going to lose everyone except the rich, white donor class north of 85. And then guess what happens? We swing back to chaos on the right. Great job, everyone. So yeah, hug your loved ones, stay alert, and maybe, just maybe, stop voting for people who think safety is a press release. Because while they're patting themselves on the back, Gavin Newsom's secret enemy just launched a nuclear strike. And trust me, you're going to want to see that.